Hi guys, welcome back to AJ's Car Garage. So today we're just going to keep buttoning up a few things on the engine that need to be done and hopefully get that one step closer to the first startup. So let's jump straight to it and I'll explain what's going on along the way. Okay, so what I'm doing here, you can see down in here on the dump pipe is the wideband O2 sensor. I'm just installing that at the moment. Just replaces the standard factory O2 sensor straight in the standard bung. Well, obviously being turbo dump pipe, it's not standard, but you know what I'm saying. You can have the standard O2 sensor in here as well, so it's optional to replace it or just add the Tech Edge wideband O2 sensor that I've got here, which is an NGK product. It comes with the Tech Edge product that I bought to support the wideband that I need for this setup. Anyway, yeah, I'll tell you a bit more about that later on down the track. But yeah, I'm just going to get in there now and do it up. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, as you can see. So yeah, I'm just about to plug it in. You can see in my right hand here is the plug for the O2 sensor to connect into, and in my left hand here is the O2 sensor itself. So you can see down through here, I've run it where the factory wiring is for the O2 sensor and the sensor that comes up for the pressure of the brake booster and whatnot. So yeah, and then all I would do is just tuck it down nicely in under there somewhere. Okay, so there it is, nicely tucked away, as you can see just here. Okay, I'm just going to run and install my cruise control and throttle cable. Okay, so there's the throttle and cruise control cable installed. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't just go get a heat sleeve for the cruise cable. Now, to answer your question, I can't find a sleeve to fit over the whole bracket situation. So yeah, I just decided to get a bit of gold tape and wrap around it. So yeah, hopefully it does the job. Should do the job and keep it quite protected. I'm pretty close to needing a new one anyway, as you can see, but yeah, still does the job. So yeah, on to the next thing. So now I'm gonna run fuel lines. I'll have to get underneath the car and hook them up down there on the steel lines, and then on the regulator and the rail rather. So yeah, I'll get in and do that. I've already got my return line here. It's always been on the car. I'll just get rid of that bolt and yeah, trace him, sort him out and put it on the return of the rail, which is directly under the fuel regulator, and then I'll put the inlet or the yeah, supply line on the other one there. Let's do it. Return line is on. You can see it down there if it's going to focus. Yeah, it's on. Now I'll do the supply line. Okay, so I've just swapped out the old fuel hose for some new stuff. 5/16, 7.9mm inside diameter. As you can see, the old stuff is a bit hard. So I'll get some new, fresher, more flexible. It's not going to perish straight away, or you know, a lot sooner than I would want it to. So yeah. Anyway, I'll get underneath and rip the bit of tape off the supply line that I've got down there, covering it up, and then we'll get it up on here. Let's get to it. And as you can see, I've still got the push lock system on there, so all I got to do when I get under there is just push it on. See, there's the factory push lock system. On the return is the supply line. Sorry, the auto lines are in the way, making it a bit difficult to see. Yeah. Just rip them off there if I can. Oh. Right. Supply line, and you got to do with these, get it run up here a little bit so you can see it from the top. Let's go. Sorry about my arm. Go over here, and all we gotta do, push lock like it says in the name. Of course, it's gonna give me a bit of hassle, isn't it? Let's push it on until you hear that click, and then she's on there. Let's make sure that one's on there good enough too. Right, so I'm going to at some point trace this line back to the tank and delete it, or well, yes, delete it somewhat and run it just so it finishes up the back somewhere, and that will get rid of this ugly little bit of crap that I've just got sitting here hanging around. And that's so originally that line goes to the carbon canister that sits up underneath here, and yeah, ports or vents the fuel vapors from the tank up into the system so they can be used instead of venting to the air. But yeah, I'm gonna sort that out. Alright, there she is, number 2, done up. So there's both turn and supply line installed. Now what I'll do is decide what I'm going to do with this, whether I'm going to run it over the top like that or have it run back through up here. And then what I'll do is I'll run my vacuum for the brake booster across the top, and I'll run all my vacuum lines for the turbo and such. Let's do it. Okay, so I've got my vacuum lines run as such in a way. Got one part of it out of the way here so I can just show you what's going on. So this blue one that I've run across the top here, down in here, is for my boost gauge, and it's in the black line for my fuel pressure regulator. And that's how you're supposed to run, well, not exactly, but I'm not gonna put another or try and get another connection like the standard one here that's got more T-pieces in it for its own. So, you know, instructions say fuel pressure vacuum line, so I've just teed straight into the fuel pressure vacuum line. And then so my blow off valve needs its own, well, needs 3 of its own vacuum sources for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure, but whatever. Now, the original factory vacuum hose here is supposed to have a bit of a 90-degree bend on the end of this part here that you can see my finger on. So I've taken that off, plumbed straight into silicone vacuum hose. This will go onto the factory T-piece here, and then this runs across here like that to the blow off valve. Now I'll just slide this on here where I want it, and she'll be sweet in place. As you can see, it's a bit of a schmozzle of shit, but it's still rather tidy as such, and there's no kinks in any of the lines. So now my blow off valve needs a source straight out of either the intercooler piping from the charge, or yeah, straight out of the compressor housing. So that's how I've run it. T-piece needs to be off a straight T-piece to the blow off valve, and yeah, anyway, so that's how I've got that set up. Probably wondering why I haven't connected this in fully for my boost controller. That's because I'm getting rid of that one and going to a in-cabin controller, so I can, you know, play with it inside if I need to adjust anything. And yeah, so that's that pretty much done. I will run my intercooler piping at some point. Going to take all my intercooler piping, it's all stashed away in here, to Autobarn and get them to bead roll it. It cost $5 a piece, or $5 an end, or something like that. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna do with that. So yeah, anyway, we'll continue tinkering on and get some more done. Okay, so I think I'm gonna run my harness across the top of the intake plenum to be a little bit cleaner, and because I want to try and situate my oil catch can in here somehow, it'll give me a bit more space to do so. So yeah, we'll get that installed. 10mm socket to bolt that in there like that, bolt straight on top, and this wire, which is for the auto box, and plug straight into here. Well, that's that done, all nice and plugged in, and just a zip tie down here to secure it a bit. So I don't know if I'm gonna have it running on that side, not that I think it really matters, but you know, keep it clean and, you know, not untidy. I don't know if I'm gonna have it sitting there or there. Sitting there is a bit better. And yeah, I think I can get all the space I need, and I've just got a zip tie around the two bits of harness here just to keep it a bit more tidier and clean. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put belts on, well, a belt, but I'm going to first redo my AC replacement bracket and pulley. See, there's a couple of mil gap in here. Now, in the instructions, there's supposed to be sort of a gap. I don't know. Instructions are a bit sort of hard to tell. You know, they're illustrated but not completely clear. Anyway, being in touch about it, you know, when I first installed it, which was before I'd done this build, started doing this rebuild rather, and apparently there's not supposed to be a spacer needed anywhere in it. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spacers I got out in there, And the reason why there's not one there is because there's no bolt hole there. And they've redid their design to suit just about everything from ELEF right through to FG. So anyway, the only reason why I have spaced it is because when there wasn't a spacer on there, is because the belt was touching the tensioner. Now that either tells me one of two things: that the tensioner that I had on there wasn't, you know, at its proper tension, you know, going on the way out, needing to be replaced, or that these actually do need to have some sort of spacer in there to get the complete tension. Now, interesting fact, I have in fact got the VCT pulley on here. Don't need it on here, obviously, because it's not a VCT engine, but smart thinking, or what I would like to think is smart thinking, you know, belt breaks at any point in time, you can go get either belt. You know, they haven't got one or the other, I'll just take the other one then. That's, you know, up here for thinking from what, you know, I would like to think anyway. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, actually no, I'm just going to redo this, undo it, take this spacing washers out from behind it, bolt it back up, and then see where we're at. So yeah, because yeah, apparently we don't need spacers at all in behind there from what I've been told. So yeah, let's have a crack. Okay, so it's two different belts, VCT and a standard belt. VCT is obviously the longer one and it's drooping down. So yeah, but either way, I'll use the normal one, and it's second hand, but it's still good nick. It was on here prior to pulling it apart. I have got a brand new one in storage if I need to use it, but this one looks pretty good. There's no cracks and it's not fraying anywhere, so you should be right. This noob forgot to press play while I was putting the belt on, but anyway, when you put these belts on, first thing you really want to do is slide the belt up behind the tensioner pulley here, and then work your way around the harmonic balancer, around your aircon, then back over the top, across your power steering, down under your alternator, across the top of your water pump, and then yeah, it'll go back down around the tensioner pulley, around the harmonic balancer. And if I was going to use the VCT belt, it'll come across the top and then down under the VCT idler and then back across the top. So the reason why it goes down under the VCT, or for the VCT idler, is because of the big fat VCT solenoid on the VCT version of these engines. Now, I don't know if you're going to see properly, but there is sweet FA of a gap in there. I can make the belt touch the tensioner just by doing that, and that's what makes me believe I need to have a spacer in between there. But the thing is, if I go by just the bolt holes, then there will be a gap like there was here before that, you know, is going to allow the bracket to be moved back and forward under pressure when, under load when the car's being driven. So it'll flex up in this corner, allowing the belt to also be loose and hit the tensioner. So yeah, I think I'm gonna need to come up and devise a spacer for that. Now what I'm sort of maybe thinking on that is, wherever it is, my old AC compressor down here, I might get, so they're the holes that are being utilized for the spacer, 1, 2 and 3, sorry, not the spacer but the placement bracket and pulley for the aircon. So what I'm thinking is I may have to find out all them holes there. Well, yeah, they're not going to be flat, so I might have to try and cut that off square, off flat, so I can use that part of the bracket, which I don't think I'm going to be able to, for the spacer for the replacement bracket. So yeah, I need to work something out with that, whether I just get a couple of sheets of stainless and yeah, make the bracket, like make the spacer that way out the sheets, and just have the face of the bracket, like, yeah, the whole spacer. I don't know, we'll see what it says. I'll have to do something about it anyway, but in general terms, that's how the belt is put on there, around the harmonic balancer, AC across the top, power steering down under the alternator, across the top of the water pump, around the tensioner. So yeah, and a couple of hours later I got something that looks like that. So hopefully that'll give us enough space, and yeah, all I did basically was, you know, put my bracket here down on my sheet of stainless steel, traced around, well, just got, I put it in the corner of my stainless steel, traced around two sides, cut 3 pieces of stainless out of the sheet, and then just, yeah, traced around the sides, or the two rear corners to get the two rear corners, and through the guts to get that nice little cutout bit done, so I can still have my crank and cam sensor wires running through there. So yeah, we'll give it a test fit and see how it goes. Okay, so this full didn't take into account of where the actual markings on the bracket are from where I've put the nuts and stuff beforehand. So that's actually not going to fit on the studs. That's all good, not an issue. All I'm going to do is slot these rear two holes and just take the guts out like that, and she should be alright. Yep, it's on there, as you can see. Test fit with the thin bolts, sorry, nuts. And as you can see, it might be a little bit better, but it's still the same, and I can still, yeah, so I don't know. That's 7.5mm spacer in there. Yeah, 2.5mm thick stainless steel sheets by 3. I might make another 2-layer spacer to go in there as well, but this does have the option of changing location. But yeah, I don't know, I've also tried that previously and it didn't really make much of a difference. But see, not only that, if you can see dead on straight that the one that's in here, you know, being lower and further out, this one's higher but also closer in, so I don't know if it's gonna really adjust it the way I want it if I do it that way, because, well, I'm basically going back the amount of space that I've put in there. Or yeah, I don't know, we'll have a think on it. So I just had a quick play around. I've swapped the pulley from the bottom one to the top one. It still hasn't changed the gap between there. I can still push it with my fingers and touch the tensioner. Now also, as you can see, I've changed the belts as well. So I thought that the tensioner I got, or the kit that I got with the tensioner, was for a normal intake. Turns out it was for the VCT. That's all good. You should get to see now the way the VCT belt is run, which isn't really anything different except this pulley. When you come up over the top of the power steering or the tensioner idle pulley, whichever way you're running your belt, you go underneath the VCT idler. So if you're running this way around, you go around the harmonic balancer, AC, tensioner idler, under the VCT idler, over the top of the power steering, under the alternator, over the water pump, over the tensioner, over and around the harmonic balancer. So yeah, anyway, think I'm gonna have to make another spacer. I am contemplating getting the bracket off of here. So these 3 holes here are the ones that will be utilized if I decide to go that way. And well, yeah, I'll cut straight across there and basically follow that cast mark and cut square right around. And yeah, the only thing I'll have to do is more or less make a spacer as thick as what that'll be if I go down that route, as thick as that bit, and yeah, tack weld it in spot up here so there's no area that it can have free play. I don't know, like I said, the only thing that's really bothering me about it is this. In fact, if you know the Daco ones, if you've tried them or know anyone that has and doesn't have this issue, let me know. I might just swap out to a Daco AC replacement bracket and pulley. After a lot of mess around back and forward, changing my minds between a couple of different designs, she's finally in there, and safe to say I'm pretty sure there's enough space there. Yes, with enough pressure I can push it down, but I think she'd be right. So there it is, all bolted in nicely and ready to go. What I did end up doing is using the original bracket that the AC compressor is bolted to and modifying it immensely, obviously, to suit the shape of the replacement bracket itself, and so it will be spaced out evenly across the area it needs to be. So what I did end up doing is utilizing one of the spacers that I got with the AC bracket, the replacement AC bracket, sorry, and utilizing it here as a support stud, beam, whatever you would like to put to it. It's not exactly doing anything. I can slightly, if I get enough pressure to it, sort of, I can wind it in and, yeah, obviously wind it out to brace that point there, but otherwise she's bolted in the 3 spots it should be, and yeah, gets enough room. So hopefully she does the job. I'm happy at the moment, time will tell. So another day has passed, and what I've done is made up a bracket for my oil catch can. Nothing special, but it wraps around the side, supports and mounts where it does from the manufacturer, and it bolts down here onto factory support for something to do with the aircon. Not exactly sure what it is or was, but it looked like a grenade bomb looking thing. Anyway, she sits down in here nicely. We'll slide her down and have a look. And there you go. Sits there nicely. The oil level on the side there is free from anything, and yeah, it sits down there just nicely tucked away. I'll be able to run that across there like that somehow, and the other one I'll run across here somehow, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Might have a rerun of this for the wiring harness or something, see what we can't do, or I might just have to get a couple of 90-degree bends or something off of there to make it run a bit nicer. I don't know, we'll see. Alrighty, the hoses for my oil catch can are run. Now, I haven't done up the end fittings fully yet, as I've still got to put my piping on here from my intercooler for my intake, which at the moment, well, not at the moment, I'm going to go do that in a minute and modify that a little bit. I've taken my alloy piping that I've got from my turbo to my intercooler, and then up to my stainless steel piping to get bead rolled. So yeah, work in progress. Can't get my stainless bead rolled at this point in time. I don't know if anyone around town does it, or if anyone got one that I can borrow. I know stainless steel can be bead rolled, but yeah. Anyway, worst case scenario, I might just throw a bead of weld around the end of it. I'm not going to worry about the end that attaches to the throttle body, because it'll be bolted down here, factory points, so I don't think it's going to blow off the throttle body or the end of the piping. But for this end, I might throw a bead of weld around it. I don't know, see what it says, see how time tells with that. But anyway, alloy piping is being bead rolled tomorrow, and the breather pipe is on, welded up quite nicely. Schmicky. So I just gave this a water test, and my weld is fine. I'm gonna have to water test the whole thing, but somehow, because this little bit here, which has been there from when it was made, leaks. So yeah, we'll patch that up, throw a bit of weld on it, and then water test it again, but shouldn't be an issue. Oh, this fella's got some patchwork for it. I don't know what the hell just happened, but it just blew straight out. Anyway, let's hope I don't fuck it. Patched up, give you a look before I give it a clean up. Not too shabby, I don't think. Okay, so I've finished messing around patching up the stainless steel intercooler pipe. There was a couple of spots around where the blow-off valve mounts on that I patched up. A couple of spots just here, and well, yeah, this one here was where the little trumpet was coming off. Originally there was a little slice in the, or yeah, I guess you could call it slice or something, that had split the wall here, and I tried to just patch it and it melted right through, so I had to put a proper patch on it. And there was a point here in the join that was leaking when I water tested, and yeah, same deal, just melted straight through, so I had to patch it properly with another piece of stainless on there. So unfortunately it doesn't look as sort of good as what it did to start with. patch wise and whatnot, but it's done, and well, you're not gonna see that ugly mess anyway really when it's on there. You might see that one, but you're not really gonna see these two. But anyway, so I did say my alloy piping was getting bead rolled. There it is. It's actually pretty mint job, pretty good job. Don't worry about the cut ends themselves. Yeah, not having a drop saw at the point in time when I did these. And yeah, so anyway, we're gonna get these. I'm not gonna mount all of it up. Just gonna get from the turbo to the intercooler, but I'm not going to attach it to the intercooler as of yet either. So I'm gonna blow the shit. There shouldn't be any shit in there, so I will go, you know, clean. Anyway, so I might just hook from the turbo to the intercooler up, but I'm not gonna do from the cold side of the intercooler to the throttle body, so I can blow whatever crap is in the intercooler out, if any. So yeah, I'll get that done, and then maybe suss out where I'm going to put my in-cabin boost tee. So yeah, the first little bits in there, and I just wanted to show you how much room there sort of isn't. So that's gonna be, I don't know, may or may not touch there. It hasn't done, but for some reason since I've done this, everything's sort of repositioned itself. Maybe I just gotta clock that a little bit more and run the water pipe over the top instead of underneath, but it was always underneath to start with, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, as you can see down in here, there's really not a lot of room to work with, hence why I wanted to make the battery boxing that can be removable, and I'll just take it out and show you how much more space there will be. Okay, so there it is out of the way, and now you can see exactly how much more room there is to get in there and play with what you gotta do, you know, clamps and whatever. So make my life a little bit easier in that retrospect. But then a drop of water get down on there. Damn it. Alright, so there's the hot side of the intercooler done. Just need to sort out the cold side of the intercooler. And up through there and bang to the throttle body. Now, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but my oil lines for the breather, oil catch can, and breather lines, I couldn't get them all the way up to the end. I don't know why. I soaked them in boiling hot water for a long time, like on the stove, boiling hot water for 15 odd minutes, heat gun, heat them up, and yeah, I could only get them on that far, so should be alright there. It's covered all 3 barbs that are on there, so there should be plenty of grip. It's only a breather line anyway, it shouldn't be under too much pressure. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going. Top part of the intercooler piping from the intercooler to the throttle body installed. I've got my blow off valve installed. Had to get a couple of different bolts and, excuse me, put in there to lock it in. Strip the heads of the original gudgeon screws, I think they're called, grudge screws, something like that. They look like these with the Allen key in there, and they're just used like a lock and bolt. Anyway, little M3 bolt on both sides, locked it in nice. Yeah, I've got the vacuum and everything hooked up for it, so yeah, that's all plumbed up. Now, I don't think I'll continue for the day, as we've got a mighty big storm rolling over and it's about to rain. And if you can see over this way, you can usually see mountains through there. Well, yeah, we can't. That's a hell of a lot of rain coming. So we're back with another bright, beautiful sunny day, and I've been cracking away this morning at doing the in-cabin boost controller. So I've already got my vacuum lines rerun for it, and I've got the boost T-piece sorry, the wastegate system T-piece in line here, and the line that runs in cabin is just going through an existing grommet down in there. I also had to extend, or put a new piece in here and extend that a bit, as the 8mm spacer that I put in there, made it a little bit short. Anyway, yeah, so the inline boost controller I had before, basically the wastegate system T-piece they have in the in-cabin boost controllers setup, basically just replaces where that was. You run that into the cabin, like I said, I've already got it run through a grommet up there somewhere, and yeah, now all I gotta do is suss out where I'm gonna put the controller itself. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure where, but somewhere subtle that, obviously I can get to, but is gonna be out of the way, and obviously unseeable. So yeah, need to have a bit of a think about that, and yeah, we'll get that done. Alright, I've now got all my in-cabin lines run and the controller installed. So there's the T to run it inside to the cabin, and when you install the cabin with the vent that's on the T-piece, sorry, the controller that's in the cabin, you got to vent it back into the engine bay, or at least outside the cabin. So I ran another vacuum line back outside the cabin into the engine bay, and there it is, and they're both running down through there into in through a grommet down there. So anyway, let's have a quick gaze inside, and you can see there it is over here. It comes across the top and up to my controller, which is in a nice subtle inconspicuous spot, I think anyway, right there. I can grab it with my hand if I need to, adjust if I need to, while I'm driving. Not that you should, and not that I will, but you can pull up on the side of the road and adjust it quite easy without having to dig and whatever. And yeah, can't see it from the driver's side, and I'm pretty sure it'll blend in from the passenger side nice and easily. So yeah, there she is. Yes, it is upside down, but you know, you're the one that's installed it, you're the one that knows how to use it. If anyone else needs to, aka people at the dyno tune, you can let them know, or it's easy enough to be seeing what's going on, you know, increase boost, decrease boost. Oh yeah, it's all labelled even if it's upside, like, yeah, not the right way or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, getting there. Alright guys, gonna have to finish this one up here for the day. We got quite a bit done in retrospect to getting this thing started up for the first time. So yeah, we'll just go through the list and see what's been done and see what we can take off. Right? So, intercooler piping has been done. The catch can bracket's been done. Catch cans in. Headlight resto radiator hoses grey on a pond. We've got most of the intercooler piping in. We'll leave the last little bit for later on. And the in-cab boost controller is now installed. So yeah, quite a bit done, a little bit left to go. Well, if you're wondering why Mum's Camry's parked all the way up here, we're about to get a severe storm apparently. Yeah, so I'm going to park my other little ship box in behind here so it hopefully doesn't get attacked by hail and whatnot. You know, I'm not too worried about hail with my other little ship box, but you know, after the last storm that we had, baseball size hail and whatnot, yeah, I think I need to put it under cover and hope it doesn't get damaged too much, because I do need a way to get to work, and hopefully this beautiful thing doesn't get smashed up or whatever either. So yeah, anyway, until next time, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you find it entertaining, a bit informative, all the rest of it, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, morning, noon or night. I hope you're having a good time and looking after yourselves. So yeah, until next time, peace out. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and drop a comment too. Catch you later.